Welcome to Yoga by Becca. I'm Becca, and today we're going to be working on crow pose and the wheel and other assorted back bends. First, let's start out in a meditative state, syncing up our breath with our body, getting our mind and body to become one. Lower your ear towards your left shoulder and extend your right arm out with a flexed palm, feeling the stretch along the side of your neck and body. For a deeper stretch, take your left hand up and gently pull your head closer to your shoulder. Now switch sides. Gently pull your right ear close to your right shoulder and extend your left arm out with a flexed palm. And to deepen the stretch, place your right hand gently on the side of your head, pulling it a little bit closer towards your right shoulder. Now place your left hand on the ground and take your right arm over, doing a deep side bend stretch. Slowly lower your elbow to the ground, deepening the stretch. Go back to center. Now let's do the other side. Take your right arm down, lower your elbow to the ground, and reach over with your left hand. Do a deep side stretch. Now coming back to center, take a brief moment. Then place your right hand on your left knee, and let's do a sitting spinal twist. Place your left hand on the ground behind you and turn your torso over, and if it's comfortable for you, try to look over your shoulder. Now back to center. Let's do the opposite side with your left hand grabbing your right knee. Turn around as if to look behind you. Breathing in and breathing out. Come back to center. And let's slowly do some Sufi grinds. Going around in circles on your sits bones, breathing in, and when you reach the front, exhaling back. Warming up the lower back. Now on your sits bones, pulse forward on your breath in, exhale round your back on your breath out. Rocking frontwards and backwards on your sits bones, warming up the back and the shoulders. Round them, and then when you go forward, pull your shoulders back, around and down. Now let's prepare for our boat. Lift your feet up and your arms up, creating a bit of a V, awakening the abdominals. As well as feeling that in our top upper thighs. Cross your ankles, slowly come down into a seated position, then pull through and get into tabletop. Once in tabletop, let's introduce some movements and shift our weight to warm up our wrists. To add some extra weight and some extra body awakening, go into downward facing dog and then catch a wave and wave it into a plank. Do this a few times and then get back into your tabletop position to do cat-cow. Our aim is to improve our wheel and our crow. So we need to warm up our wrists quite a bit, as well as our back. Put your hands to where your fingers are facing your knees, and shift your body weight on your arms and then back on your hips. Making sure that we fully stretch out the tendons and muscles in our wrist area. Get your hands to face one another. Go back and forth. You can do figure eights, circles, or just back and forth movement, whatever feels good to your wrists. Take a few moments to catch a wave and curve the back in, looking up. Then pull your body weight up onto the tops of your feet. Stretching out the muscles and the ligaments and the bones on the top of your feet. Now curl your toes under and rock back and forth a few times on a flexed foot. To warm up the feet, the ankles, and the legs. Now get into tabletop position and let's pull up our knees off the mat and do some twists, warming up the hips, engaging the abdominals. Try to keep your knees close down to the mat. A lot of your body weight will be supported by your shoulders and your wrists, which we want to warm up and condition for today's practice. Get into your downward facing dog and let's pedal out your feet. hop to your hands into your first forward fold of the day. Widen your feet to be hip width apart, maybe a little more so. And then let's do ragdoll. Grab your elbows and just let gravity take hold, swinging your body side to side. Slowly lift up. And back down into forward fold. Walk your hands up a little bit. And let's rock back and forth a few times, shifting weight from our back of our legs to our wrists. Pull up, arms high in the sky. Bend down into forward fold. Lift up halfway, flat back. Melt back down. Take one leg behind you, another leg on a front lunge. Place both feet back on the mat into plank position. Slowly lower yourself down into chaturanga, into your first back bend of the day. Cobra. Then catch a wave back into downward facing dog. Step the opposite leg up into lunge, high front lunge. Meet your feet at the top of the mat. Breathe in halfway up, flat back. Put your hands high in the air, down at heart center, back up into mountain pose. Swoop down into forward fold. Lift in halfway up. Step back into lunge. Both feet meet at the bottom of the mat and go into your chaturanga. From plank to chaturanga, lift up. Downward facing dog. Step forward again into lunge. Down, meet your feet back together at the top of the mat. Lift halfway up, flat back, then melt back down into forward fold. Reach high in the sky, mountain pose. Put your hands together at heart center, pull down. Now swoop your hands forward and sit back into chair position. Then melt your chest down to meet the tops of your thighs. Step one leg back into high lunge, arms out. Turn your back foot to the side, open up your chest to the side, arms out. Put your hands back down on the mat, reach forward. Put your foot to the side of the mat, creating space for lizard lunge. Now pull yourself back up. Meet your feet at the top of the mat, mat width apart, into a wider forward fold. Heel toe your feet to be more in alignment with your hips. Get into your chair position. Melt your chest now to the tops of your thighs and step back on your opposite leg into a lunge. Your chest should be lightly resting on the top of your thigh, reaching forward. Turn your foot out to the side and the back, and then open up your chest to that opposite side, arms out, to a deep side lunge. Flip facing forward. Put your hands down for stability. Edge that foot to the side of the mat to create more space, and let's melt down into lizard lunge. Meet your feet together at the top of the mat next to your hands into forward fold. Now get into a deep squat position. You can have your hands at heart center, or if you need to put your hands down to stabilize yourself, you can do that as well. Put your hands down on the mat and let's experiment with shifting weight, shifting our focus. We'll go down into a forward fold. Squat back down, but with your toes being on your tippy toes. And now gently move your body weight to your hands and your wrists. You can do a rocking motion to slowly introduce this shift to your body. Lift first one leg, then the other off the ground to achieve the crow. You can focus on having a rounded back. If you need more space, you can put your hands a little bit wider up. And just rock back and forth, changing where your center of gravity is. Now straighten up those legs into forward fold. Do some stretch. Move your hands forward into plank position. Slowly lower yourself down, chaturanga. Lift up into cobra or upward facing dog. Then catch a wave and go back into your downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high in the sky. Pull through and touch knee to nose, and then step that foot in between your hands. Lift your arms up into the sky into high lunge. Cactus out your arms and introduce a little bit of a back bend in your spine. If you need stability, focus on squeezing those inner thighs together. Straighten your front leg and fall forward. Slowly shift your body weight into your front foot. You can grab your ankle or just steady yourself on either side of your foot with your hands. And slowly lift that back leg up into the sky, into a standing split. If you're not very flexible like I am not, your split looks more like a right angle more than an actual split, but we're just working for progress in the experience, not perfection. Put that back leg behind you, meet it with the other, and now you're in plank position. Lower down, chaturanga. Pull up into your cobra. Transfer back into downward facing dog. Lift the opposite leg up, high in the sky, three-legged dog. Now pull through, meet your knee to nose, and then step through with your foot between your hands. Lift your arms up into lunge. Cactus out your arms and do a bit of a back bend with your back, looking a little bit towards the ceiling. Straighten that front leg, fall your torso towards your foot into triangle. Now shift your body weight onto that front standing foot. You can grab your ankle or just either side of the mat. Pull that back leg up into standing split. Or as much of a split as you can handle. If you're not as flexible like me, don't worry about it. It's progress, not perfection. Go back into plank position. Hold for a few breaths here, strengthening your abdominals. Slowly lower down into chaturanga, using grace and control. But this time, just lay down on the mat. Take a few moments to rest. Now pull up your legs and your arms into lotus pose. Grab your feet back there. Release. Hold this for several breaths, then slowly release down. Put your hands on either side of you to pull yourself up. Now you're in tabletop pose in a neutral position. Lower your shoulders and the front of your chest down into puppy pose. This helps warm up your back. And will help us with our wheel practice that'll be coming up. Gently pull yourself up into tabletop. Curl your toes under, then lift your hips and legs up to where you're in back downward facing dog. Cross your feet over and then use this to flip into a reverse tabletop. Or it's a bit reminiscent of Wild Thing. Hold for several breaths, then flip back over, uncross your legs and go back into your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, cross your feet again, and flip over into your reverse tabletop. Your hips being pushed towards the sky, your hand outwards, looking behind you. Hold for several breaths. And then flip back over, uncross those legs, and go back into your downward facing dog. Hop up to get your feet to meet your hands into forward fold. And then slowly lower down. Into a crouched position. Lower yourself down to be completely seated. Grab your toes, balance on your sits bones, and extend your legs up and out. Holding your balance, try to have a straight back, the crown of your head reaching for the sky, feeling uplifted. Hold for several breaths, breathing slowly in and breathing out. Put your feet together, lower them to the mat. And now lay down in a position where your knees are up, and we're going to warm up with some bridge work. And then slowly transition the bridge into a back bend or wheel pose. So first step is to get your hands close to your ankles and then lift the torso up with the hips reaching for the sky. Lower down. Now lift up again, even deeper still. I'm gonna go to the other end of the mat because of the sun in my face. Do another bridge, but this time place your hands beside your head and lift up into a wheel. Hold for several breaths. Now let's roll on our back a few times to massage our back because we're putting it through so much work. Now lower your feet down and let's practice our wheel again. Your hands should be close to your heels. Put your hands now on either side of your ears and lift up. Try to hold even longer if it's possible. Breathing in and breathing out. Grab your knees, hug them into you, rock back and forth, massaging your spine, thanking it for being so strong to be able to withstand this practice. Lay back down again. And let's do another wheel, breathing in deeply and breathing out. Eventually, as I'm able to progress, I hope to be able to walk my hands closer to my feet to have a deeper stretch in the back. Now lower down with your hands on your belly, breathing in and breathing out. Curl up into a tight ball, hugging your knees to your face. Now let's stretch out that back even more so. Go into a shoulder stand, then get it into plow position. You can do any variation that is great for your back. You can then roll up and back on your mat on your back in a little ball to massage all of the vertebrae, all of the spine. Go back into your shoulder stand, into plow position if you'd like. Then roll back up into seated position. Take a few moments to regulate your breath, getting centered. Stretch out your back after all of the hard work it's done with some Sufi grinds. After a few Sufi grinds, let's do some spinal flexes. Going forward and backwards on your sits bones. On the breath, breathing in forward, exhale back. Roll out your wrists and then shake loose any tightness that might have accumulated or stress in your neck. If it feels safe for your neck to do so, do some head rolls. Laying flat on your back, cross one foot over the other, across the knee area. Thread the needle through and pull that thigh close to you, stretching out those thigh muscles. Now do the other side, as well as elongating that lower back. Slowly release. Now put your knees together and windshield wiper them side to side. We'll close out by just getting back into a cross-legged seated position after stretching out a little bit. And just meditate, get your breath back to normal, focusing on breathing deeply in and deeply out. Go slow, there's no rush. This is your time. Thank you so much for watching this yoga session and for following along. It's my personal goal to achieve the crow position and the wheel, and it's something I do like to work on at least once a week. And thank you for going on the journey with me on trying to make a stronger wheel pose. If you found this video to be informative, inspiring, or motivational, or you got value from it, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.